everyone to episode 20. Welcome everyone to episode 20 of hashtag UK Edu Stories. It's our very last episode for this series. We'll be back mid-August. And today, just to celebrate the fact we're all going to be going on our summer break, if not imminently, but very soon, we have what we call a Twitter All-Star lineup. So many of our guests have actually joined us before. We've got a few people who actually joined us for the first time, but it should be a great evening of light-hearted and fun discussions. We're actually looking at sharing 50 ideas of things that teachers and educators can actually do during the summer break. So very much looking forward to it. So how's your week been, Mark?
Yeah, absolutely bonkers. But like yourself, Bookie, I'm super looking forward to everything sort of winding down a little bit. I've got some engagements. I'm still doing the Microsoft work during the summer holidays. Got a few more sessions with that going on. Got the Frog Conference on August the 18th, and you're involved in that as well.
Yep.
As is Nina, who's joining us this evening.
Ooh, that's great to hear.
Nina's going to be at that event too. My big news this week is I've signed my new book contract. So I've been working on it for a little while and getting things together. But I've actually signed on a dotted line this week.
Really pleased.
So excited to be getting that out there. And I've been holding back for quite some time to put my next book out. So really, really, really pumped to be doing that. But people haven't come to hear from us. Well, they might have, but it's more important we get, because one of the things we're really focused on with our show, UK Edu Stories, is that thing. It's stories. And yes, we can bring a few things to the game, but the real beauty, I think, and the value of the show is all the voices that we've heard over the course of the past sort of 4 or 5 months or so. Mm-hmm. And it's been an amazing book. It's been a really fantastic ride and journey, hasn't it?
It has been really great. Learned so much, I have to say. So it's been really informative, and it's great to connect with people, even though it's been virtual or remote, however you want to describe it. But it's actually been great to connect with different educators across the sectors as well, which is quite unusual, and and learn a lot of different things with regards to edtech or teaching and learning per se.
Yeah, there's been so many great takeaways, and I've been really proud of being able to have sort of been involved in the initiative and sort of getting it working. What's been really nice as well is since we started using StreamYard, lots of other people have sort of concertinaed on and started using StreamYard for other events. In fact, I'll bring in our first guest tonight, which is, I think this is his third time on the show, backed by popular demand.
Absolutely.
Dropping it. Welcome to Graham. How you doing,
Hi,
buddy?
Graham.
Good evening, Neil. Good. Congratulations on your bookmark. Funny enough, you talk about your book. I had my first royalty check today from my book. Let's just say I'm not going to be able to retire on it. That's
no, that is not one of those things you can do. No. And not unless you're sort of J.K. Rowling or equivalent. So I made a bit of money, but what for me with my book, my first book, what was lovely about it was actually that sort of legacy type thing.
Yeah,
I was able to dedicate it to my children and things like that. That was whilst it was lovely. I mean, it's had lovely and continues to get nice feedback and things on Amazon, as I'm sure yours does. But what's amazing is that opportunity to actually make that dent and have something a bit sort of long-standing, which will stand the test of time beyond, my lifetime for sure. So,
yeah.
Are you ready for the summer break then, Graham?
Well, we've got a week and a bit to go, so yeah.
Yes,
we will
be earlier.
When we get there, we will be. But yeah, I'm ready for it. I've been ready for it for about 6 weeks, to be fair.
I think we all have, to be honest. I feel for you. I've never heard of a school within England that finishes that late. Yeah. But you go back pretty much the same time as well, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. But we get extra sort of time for half terms and things. That's how we do it. So we get 2 week half terms.
Right. Okay.
So it evens out over the course
in a way,
of the
it's
year.
quite nice. It's just we've missed out a little bit because of COVID this year. So feels like cheated a bit, but yeah.
So do you have anything in particular planned for the summer break when it eventually comes?
Well, it's actually, I was going to show you as part of my my well-being thing. So my 50
seamless.
Right, yeah, I know. We've worked that out. So what I'm going to do is
we plan this, viewers.
I've done it as like a game. Okay, so I've got some slides. I think 6 slides. I was going to be 5, but I got 1 extra. And basically, it doesn't say anything on there. It's just a picture. And what I want you to do is try and work out what it is, my way of keeping my well-being during the summer through my pictures. Is that all right?
Yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, okay.
We'll get it when you see it. So I'm just gonna.
Whilst Graham's bringing it up, ladies and gentlemen, so the show this evening, we're asking all of our guests to share some things for teachers to get up to and do this summer. So we've sort of tentatively called it 50 things for teachers to do this summer, and that was the sort of the challenge or the call to action that we gave to our guests. And so I'm really keen to see what Graham's got to share with us on this particular topic. Go for it, Graham.
Oh, so have a little guess. What do you think this one could be?
Oh yeah, get that alarm off. Switch the alarm off or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, get that alarm turned off so we don't have to get up in the morning. Also, I was talking to some colleagues yesterday about when we were younger, which seems such a long time ago. But we were talking about how sometimes you wouldn't even go to sleep. Do you know what I mean? You'd spend the night doing something, watching films or going out, and you wouldn't sleep at all. So that's what I'm going to hope to do. I'm going to hope to spend at least one night where I just don't sleep.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to power through.
See if I can still do it. I used to do it all the time when I was younger, but not so sure now. Right, next one.
Ooh, English breakfast, cooked breakfast.
Yeah.
Eat well.
Yeah. I'm going to try and have as many cooked breakfasts as I can. Because during term time, I don't know about you, but I just don't have breakfast. I get up.
Wow.
I go to work. I get to work for about 7 a.m. So I don't really have a breakfast. So I'm going to make sure I'm going to have as many cooked breakfasts as I can during the summer. So that's one number 2. Number 3.
You're going to try sitting down and rocking in a quiet room by
I'm
yourself?
not sure. What is that? I don't know what that's showing me.
He's scared. He's scared.
Horror movies. You watching horror movies?
Yeah. I've got.
Hey, there you go.
It is.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I've got a whole load of horror movies that I need to catch up with. So I will spend quite a bit of money.
I can't do horror movies. That's why I'm like this myself.
Yeah, I know you can't, Bucky. But yeah, I've got a lot of movies to catch up with too, but not just horror ones. But yeah, there's a lot of horror films that I love them. And normally, actually, funny enough, me and Hal normally do a horror thing during July, but we haven't this year. I don't know why. I've just forgot all about it. But yeah, that's that one. Right, next one.
Do some professional reading or reading for pleasure?
Yeah, absolutely, Mark. Yeah, nice work. Yeah, I'm in the sunshine, hopefully. So I don't know what the trees are there for, but it was just a nice picture.
Well, reading.
That's why I thought it was a nature book.
Yeah.
I thought it was a nature book or something.
No, it's just a nice picture. So yeah, I'm going to try and catch up with. I've got lots of books to read, so hopefully I can do that in the sunshine. I'm only 1 minute away from the beach, so we got a nice green patch of grass where I can lay there and just read a book and go away somewhere nice.
Oh, superb.
Okay, that sounds ideal. Oh, music.
Yeah. What's the magnifying glass part though?
You want to discover new music?
Yeah, nice, Mark. Yeah, I'm going to discover some new music. I've only just discovered Hamilton, so and I'm loving that. I've only just discovered Hamilton and the Hamilton soundtrack, and
it's so good. When I twisted my ankle last October, I was in excruciating pain. But the next day I had tickets that we'd taken ages to secure, and I hobbled all the way there because I said I have to see it. And it was, even though my ankle was throbbing, it was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, it's great. It's so good.
And the last one.
The Twitter there.
It's like Isla Fludge just said in the private chat. It's a bit like dingbats, isn't it? I used to love catchphrase on a Sunday evening.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Say what you see.
Say what you see.
Oh, so what you see? All I see is
taking Twitter outdoors all over the UK.
Yeah, do you know what? That's sort of it, Mark. What my little plan is, because I haven't got very long, only 4 weeks, is I'm going to try and pop off to a few places in the UK and see a few people. I'm hoping to pop to see Ed, maybe pop up to Manchester to see the Primary Rock Slot, and then when I'm there, of course, socially distanced, might do a live stream or two. So like a tour of the edgy places in the UK. I don't know. It's an idea, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I will be able to do it. Depends how much the trains and things are. But
true.
That's my dream. That's my dream one.
Sounds lovely though.
For this summer, yeah, it would be lovely. And that on my 6.
Oh, it's
Awesome
fantastic.
stuff. Thank you very much indeed for those ideas shared there, Graham. We're over time already. I didn't want to throw the sort of virtual Teach Meet Teddy at you.
Yeah, I know. Fair enough. Yeah, I saw that. Quick, get Ed in.
That's it. Bring your partner in crime in, Mr. Finch. I've conceded he's been doing a bit of strumming, I think. Maybe sort of tuning his uke or something, ready to come in. But I can bring him in now. Welcome, Ed. Hi.
Hi, Ed.
Hi, Ed.
Your mic's off, mate.
Is it off now?
There
Can you
we
say,
go.
oh, back in the room?
He's professional, isn't he?
It's a
Seasoned
proper
professional
job.
right
It's
there.
a proper job. Graham, so you're going to come and see me, yeah?
Yeah, I think so, Ed. Is that right?
Oh, good. You know what? I'll get the spare bed ready. You can sleep over. It's all right. You can wipe it down after.
Might need that, to be fair.
I'm laughing because I thought you arranged it already, Graham. Sounds like it's just learnt of it just now.
I don't see why it shouldn't happen. There's no law against it, is there? I don't think it's all right.
No, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh,
We've been
thank you so much
doing
for coming
our
on to the show,
Sunday
Ed.
night
Thank you.
sing-alongs for a few weeks now. So to actually sing along with the man rather than like a 2-second delay will be a treat, won't it?
Yeah, it really will be a treat, that. Yeah.
We'll
Treat
do
for
a
everybody
live
listening as well, I
garden
thought.
broadcast.
Yeah, nice. With Mr. Dempsey, yeah?
Where is Mr. Dempsey? He's been retired. He's done his last show, Mr. Dempsey. There's people as Mr. Dempsey.
No.
What is Mr. Dempsey?
My kids love Mr. Dempsey.
My kids love Mr. Dempsey. He helps me out with singing. So since Singing Assembly has moved online, I haven't been able to get the real Mr. Dempsey to help me out with the other part in the songs. So I've been using this Mr. Dempsey, and he's now such a character. I think he's probably going to displace the actual teaching assistant who normally helps me out. It'd be a lot cheaper. I mean, honestly, school budgets are stretched. I think just every teacher has a glove puppet. It's going to save a lot of money, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you
Absolutely.
don't have to
Yeah,
give them
yeah.
plans.
Sorry. Oh, don't worry. I won't share why I'm laughing already, but
We've been watching your assembly this week. We like the one with Mr. Dempsey where he's making a cake.
Oh, that was
Flour on you and
the sausages. The
Yeah,
sausages. Yeah. I don't know why you would put sausages in a cake, but that one. Usually, Mr. Dempsey, it's a little trade secret, guys. I'll let you in on this, but usually, Mr. Dempsey is on my hand. He's a puppet. It's not a real thing. It's a puppet. You won't know. Yeah. But for when we do complex sequences, then my son has to do it. My son quite enjoys hitting me with things and throwing sausages at me. You could tell, couldn't you? It's like I said, all right, well, we're doing it. We're going to do this sequence later, Douglas. You're going to help me out with this. And we're going to do Mr. Dempsey does the cooking. What do we need to buy? And he was like, get in here, get in. Right, we'll be needing a can of sausages, Daddy. I'm like, are you sure that's a good idea? Anyway,
your son's name's
This sounds
Douglas.
surreal.
My son's name's Douglas as well. We call him Dougie though, rather than Douglas. Is
My
your
Douglas-
Douglas a Douglas or a Dougie?
he claims to be a Doug. He tries to get his friends all call him Doug. I call him Douglas. I mean,
I retain Douglas when he's been naughty, you know, and I full name him. That's when he gets.
I work on the assumption that Mark Douglas has been naughty at all times. I mean, he probably has. Poor lamb, he's been home alone from about 8 in the morning until about 5 at night every day for the last however many weeks he's been on. Poor little, he's only 13, so he's propping up the computer. Who knows what he gets up to? 13-year-old boy alone with the internet at his disposal. It doesn't bear thinking about, does it? So I'm probably right to assume he's been naughty, so I'll just carry on calling him Douglas. I should have. He just cooked me a beautiful barbecue, bless him. So,
oh,
yeah.
Being mindful of time, Ed, did you want to share anything with us? I saw you with your guitar there. Did you have any?
Funny you should say that. Yeah. So yeah, but you know, me and Graham have been doing this Sunday night sing along. I don't know if Graham's got the words up on his screen. Graham, can you grab Schools Out for Summer?
yeah, I can do Schools Out for Summer.
I mean, I've never played it before, and he's never sung it before, but this is how we did it. So, Mark, you should see if you've got another screen up there. See if you can get the words for Schools Out for Summer up.
oh, okay. Hang on a sec. Schools. Oh God.
And look, we'll all have different amounts of latency and therefore different amounts of delay, which will make it even more beautiful for the people watching.
Beautiful.
Graham can usually
Put up the lyrics.
Okay, I've got the
sounding
lyrics.
like
You got the lyrics?
I've got the lyrics.
you ready?
Okay,
I'll bring it up
fantastic.
now. Chrome
Okay,
tab.
we're going
lyrics.
for it.
There
We're going
we
for
go,
it. Schools
share.
out. So,
Oh, here we are. Here we are. Look at this.
I've got half a week. I've got a
Oh,
week.
professional.
Graham's got more. Well, we got no choice.
All the
All the girls and boys
boys.
making all that noise because they got new toys. Well, we got you can't find
Find the flag.
don't suit you. That's
the drag.
Schools out for summer. How's he doing? I can't hear him. Is he doing all right? Schools out
forever.
Schools
Blow to
best. No more pencils. No
more books.
no more teachers. There we go.
Well, we got no
Here
class.
we go, big one. Well, we got no class, and we got no principles,
principles.
and we got no
No
innocence.
innocence.
Isn't it, when you read it, we can't even think of a word that rhymes. School's
out
for
summer.
Are we still together?
Yeah.
School's out forever.
School's closed for recess. Here we go. No more pencils, no more books, no more teachers, dirty looks. Out for summer, out to roam. What's the next bit? I can't read it. We might not go back at all.
Oh, God.
Out for summer.
Oh, fucking.
School's out for summer.
There's a confusion show on my face.
Back in the room. Did we get away with it? Did we do it?
Oh, well done, Ed.
Talk about skills, my friend.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
think, Becky, I think she's just never gonna. She's so scarred by that.
You know what? I'm going to tell you moderately seriously. I think I've got a minute on the clock. That a few months ago, I wouldn't have done that. I would have been very precious about it, and I wouldn't have wanted this guitar or this voice on the internet unless I'd practiced and practiced and practiced. Make it perfect. And if I've learned anything from this lockdown business, it's like, just put it out there.
Yeah, I agree.
Just have a laugh. Just share. And I've had nothing but kindness back, and nothing but people saying, thank you for doing that. It brought us a smile. So I do not pretend to be anywhere close to competent, not for a moment. But if people have been enjoying it, then we've done a good thing, haven't we, Graham?
Exactly. Yes, we have, Ed. Yes, we have.
We've never pretended to be competent, not for a moment.
No, not for 1 second. No.
But we've had a good time, and a few other people have enjoyed it too. So that's all right, isn't it?
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing that, Ed. And thank you for your top 6 ideas thing as well, Graham. That's really, really good. It's time now to bring in Isla. So I can bring Isla into the studio now. And Ed and Graham, you're very welcome to stay as we bring her in. Welcome, Isla.
There we are, look.
Hi, Isla.
Hi, I mean, how do I follow this? Gosh, that was some performance. Wow, I'm overwhelmed.
All the smiling faces telling me it was done for all the right reasons. It was just lovely to have Ed bring on and share with his music as well. So thank you again so much for that, Ed. What have you got to share with us, Isla?
Right, so when you sort of gave us the guidance of 50 things for teachers to do over the summer, I kind of just thought, what would I do? So I've got one slide to share with you with a few ideas. So let me just put that up.
Okay, we can all see that now.
Fantastic. So the things that I thought about, first of all, I thought of the obvious about the disconnect and do we all need some time off social media and screens for a while? And the question occurred to me to Twitter or not to Twitter and how I felt about it. And I think for me, I've been spending a lot of time on Twitter, maybe too much. And it's probably a good idea for me to zone out for a week or so and just lessen my social media intake and rest my thumbs, perhaps. But for others, I think maybe those that are a bit new to Twitter and just discovering it, it might be the chance to do it at leisure, to sort of find things for themselves, find their own network. Because what I've really found over this lockdown period is Twitter's become an amazing connection network for me in terms of getting my own professional development and connecting with other professionals and friends across the sectors, and just getting loads of ideas and support. So there's the debate there. So yeah, I think if you've been already on it all year, then maybe give yourself a break. But if you haven't, maybe take this time to sort of take those baby steps onto it, because it is really useful and really good. The other thing I was thinking about was, for me, I really need to relax my routine. And I think when we went into lockdown and I went to teaching online, I thought this is a brilliant opportunity for me to change up my routine. But I'm a teacher and I still found myself setting my alarm for like stupid o'clock in the morning to get up, get ready and go do something with the kids, then teach, then, you know, prep lessons and plan courses. So I'm definitely going to be switching the alarm off, although I can't switch my 3-year-old off, so that's a slight problem. But we've managed to get him a grow clock, so that seems to be working. I can get him to sleep until 7 o'clock, but I'm definitely going to be just taking things as they come this summer holiday and really taking the pressure off myself, and that would be my advice to other people. The other thing would be that it's time for me to read. I love reading, but I never get enough time to read. And I've got a stack of books by my bedside. I've got a digital list on my Kindle. I've got loads of books on Audible ready to listen to and get into. And I've read some fantastic books this year, like Daring Greatly by Brené Brown, Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo. That was fantastic. And I'm going to use this opportunity to try and read some more books. So I know I really want to read Empire by Akala and Brave in the Wilderness by Brené Brown as well. I take this opportunity to read books that I hope will inspire me and inspire my practice moving forward into September. And then the last thing is really just trying to focus this summer on just doing the things that I love, because I mean, I'm sure lots of us are like this. You never quite switch off. You've always got one little thing ticking over about what I'm going to do differently this year. But I'm going to make a point of just picking out those things that are fun. So that means, no emails or timetabling over the summer, but things like exploring what I can do with outdoor learning or making videos to do blended learning in September. Things like that I might still be dabbling at, and just making a conscious decision to do what I really love this summer and make the most of it. So I hope that others are going to do that too. So that's my little snippets.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you very much for that, Isla. We had a comment during your presentation, actually, from one of our viewers. Mandy Prevost just shared a social media detox is definitely in order. We did pop up on the screen while you were presenting, but obviously you wouldn't have seen that. So I wanted to sort of share that back to you. Yeah, thank you for that. Some great ideas and tips and things to do there. I'm keen to sort of find out those books you shared as well. So perhaps if you could reply to the live stream info with those details for those books for me to check out, but I'm sure others will want to look at those as well. I do love to hoover a good few books over the summer break. So any recommendations are always sort of graciously received. Boogie, did you have any questions for Isla at all?
No, just to concur, digital detox, as soon as 21 days July is over, I am stepping away from devices. I've just had enough. I need a break. Love the idea about reading, and Brené Brown, fantastic. So I've actually downloaded something. I've got something on Audible, one of her books that I'm going to be listening to as well during the summer. So yeah, definitely agree with what you shared.
Oh, brilliant stuff. Well, look, we are behind time already, so I'm going to bring in our next guest now, and please feel free to stay in as well, Isla, too. Our next guest, just checking the schedule, is Jules Dolby.
Take care, Ed.
Cheers, Ed. Thank you. So welcome, Jules. Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jules.
How are you doing? You all right?
I didn't follow Isla either on Twitter, so I've just followed you, Isla. So I don't know how that happened. So good to see everybody.
Good to see you too.
Isla's a great follower. She's got a great YouTube channel as well, which is well worth checking out. I got a few hints and tips just from watching the video production. So
Yeah, the last one I came on to, I discovered somebody. So yeah, it's great discovering new fantastic people to follow.
Brilliant stuff, Jules. So around this whole idea of 50 things for teachers to do this summer, what did you want to share on that for us tonight, Jules?
I'm afraid I've done my usual thing of going a bit off topic because I wanted just to share with you some really amazing stuff that's happened in my school. And I know lots of teachers across the country will have similar stories, but I just think it was a really nice way to celebrate because it's our last day of term tomorrow. The first one was this TA who was doing Teams with her families and students in post 16. She invited a goat to Zoom. You actually pay, I think it was 25 quid or something, and the goat joined them on Zoom, which is just hilarious. We also had, this was another amazing TA, wrote to Chris Kamara. He's a footballer, isn't he? I don't know. Right, is it Chris Kamara? Sorry.
I don't know either.
The name rings a bell.
He's an amazing older footballer, I think. So I think football fans will know him. Anyway, we wrote to him because one of our students has loved him since he was about 5. He's 16 now. And Chris Kamara recorded a video message for him. And we put it on one of those massive interactive white screens. And our student was just so chuffed. He actually had a T-shirt on with his name on and kissed the screen. I mean, he couldn't believe it. It was just lovely. So we were all in floods of tears about that. And then the final one was in my SLT meeting that we have on Teams, where we're all very serious and talk about, you know, safeguarding and really serious stuff. I wheeled across the office to get to somebody else's computer because my mic doesn't work. And as I wheeled across the office, I flew off the chair. So in front of everybody, the heads, everybody, I fell off my chair. And so there are my 3 stories. I just wanted to share those with you because they're kind of typical stories from schools. So, but I do have some things to do in the summer as well. I'll be really quick though. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Here's my list, right? I'm going to do it quickly, right? Rest, but do walk and exercise. Don't work. Actually plan in break times rather than planning your lessons. If you wear tights, buy some snag tights for the winter. They will save your life as a teacher. Go stationery shopping with me and Bookie and tell us all about it on Twitter. Trial blogging if you fancy it. It's really quite easy and it's quite fun. Don't get drawn into Twitter arguments, right? So this is my research on Twitter arguments, right? So you've got term time and then holidays and then term time. That's my PhD I'm doing. Not really. And so don't get drawn in. One of my tips, because everybody will know me, I have got drawn in. I'm a total hypocrite telling you not to. But only reply 10 times. If you are still arguing about the same thing after 10 replies, just stop because it's cyclical. Join Women Ed, read Women Ed's book, and then my favourite book that I've read over lockdown is Ursula Le Guin's Earthsea series. It's science fiction and fantasy. Absolutely fantastic. So if you like fantasy, then please read that. There we go, I'm done.
That's super quick. Wow.
Superb, brilliant stuff. Thank you ever so much, Jules. And thank you for being brave about did you hurt yourself when you fell off the chair, or are you okay?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine. It was just funny. It really was. We were all laughing because what had happened was because we've got a laminate floor, so I was rolling across from to the next, and I just did it too quickly, and I was sitting on the sort of front, so I just tipped over some kind of science thing there. You know, the balance. Bookie will tell me what happened, but the balance went, and then
you fell.
And I totally lost all dignity, but it did give everybody a laugh because it was one of our last SLT meetings of the week. So, but I don't think I'll ever live it down. I think it's going to come up quite a lot over the next few years. But never mind. Yeah, no, but I am fine. I didn't hurt myself.
That's the main thing. Good. Just a bit of embarrassment and loss of dignity.
Yeah. Quite typical, I think. But
Jules, did you get a big grant for your research?
Oh yeah. Yes, I got it from the DFE. Have funded it.
Cash in hand, yeah.
We met over coffee, and we didn't have to sign anything. They just gave me the body money. It was fine.
That never happens with the Department for Education, though, Jules, does it?
No, well, that's true. It's just unusual. I think it was my smile that kind of charmed them into it, So. And they like me because I agree with them a lot. So.
Right.
Okay.
Let's,
We should mention our supermarket sweep.
Sorry?
We should mention our supermarket. Do you know about this, Mark and Graham?
no.
Oh, God.
So I've got a thing, right? So I'm allowed to do some freelance from work. So I go to, our exhibitions, those education exhibitions, but I always promise my students, because I know I'm covering for the cover, I always say to them, I'm not here tomorrow, but I'll bring you a free pen or a free rubber or whatever I can find. So after I've done a talk or whatever, usually Bookie's there as well. And the last couple of times Bookie's literally had a camera and she's followed me round, and it is like supermarket sweep.
It is. You've got to be there to see it. It's incredible.
Everybody
Jules moves very quickly when there's a pen involved. When it comes to stationery, Jules can move really quickly.
We go quick. And I end up with a massive bag of free stationery for my students, and they absolutely love it. They come in and they live in the bag and they pick out things. And I haven't told you this, Bookie. I had a wonderful company DM me the other day that I'd met, and they've given me a Kindle Fire to give one of my students. So we shall have
so cool. Okay. Okay. So you know what's going to happen next time, Jules? Yeah. I'll go around the supermarket suite, and you can take the photos.
Okay. But it was fun. It
was really good. Great fun.
About 10 minutes before our train, so I had to get like 2 bagfuls of stationery in 10 minutes. It was like quite a record. We can have a little competition who can get the most freebies.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're on.
No, we used to do that on trips to various things when I was teaching. We'd go to Bet, for example, and it was like, who can get the most swag at the end of the day, that sort of thing. We used to do as competition all the time. Isla's nodding.
Yeah.
I've done that myself. I've done
that. It's just like, and you can always tell a teacher it's something like that, because they literally go, you can see the surreptitiously trying to get 6 pens rather than 1.
And the bags as well.
What's fun now, though, is seeing, and children are so cute sometimes as well. Like, I get to work on some stands these days with what I do, and they rock up, the students and the young people, and you can see them sidling towards the pens, and then they look around like this, like to make sure no one, and then the arm will slowly move across to where they are, and then exactly that. Yeah.
That's me.
Oh dear. Well, look, again, be mindful of time. Need to bring on our next guest now. So I'm really, really pleased. And please do stay with us, Jules. I'm really, really pleased to bring in our next guest now, which is Jazz Ampau-Farr. Really, really pleased to be able to bring her onto the show. And so here we go. Jazz.
Hi, Jazz.
Hi, Jazz. How you doing?
I'm good, thank you. I was fresh from cutting up a duck and taken by surprise because I was listening to Jules. I was literally on Twitter. I've just tweeted Vardine Goats, who are one of my favourite Twitter people. Well, a goat. One of my favourite goats on Twitter, and said, "Are you offering that service where you could pay a tenner and come to a Zoom? Because I would definitely book that." So I'm just waiting for a reply from them. You know the Vardine Group? They're from a school. I think it's like Brighton. They're from a school in Brighton. I love them. Whoever does that account is so funny. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a real goat, and I want them on my Zoom. So that's what I was doing.
Well, you need to check out Bangkok Goats, because I saw Vardine Goats way back when, and I worked with the St Andrew's Samaki School in Bangkok, and I told them about the Vardine Goats, and they got a whole farm area on this school site and everything, and they got ducks and goats and sheep and turtles and all sorts of stuff. And so the team that sort of work around all that sort of area, I told them about the Vardine Goats. They're like, that sounds amazing. And so they've got their own Instagram account. So have a look for the Bangkok Goats.
Oh, well, I just typed that into Twitter, and the first tweet that came up, it said, "Where in the USA is that legal?" So I've just closed that page. I've discovered something I don't want to see. I'll switch to Instagram. If you can send me the link, Mark, I don't want to discover anything. I don't want my history. Thanks for the tip, but give me the link.
I'll send you the link. No, it's genuinely a school. It's genuinely a school. So, welcome to the show, Jazz. Really, really pleased to have you on sharing with us. As you've heard, we're trying to get sort of 50 different ideas for things for teachers to think about doing over the summer. So, did you have some ideas that you wanted to share with everybody? I'm sure you have.
I have a bag full of ideas. Hey, my first one is to give up your vulnerability vulture. So I've talked about this before at Women Ed events. It's all around imposter syndrome, I guess, although I don't even like to use the term. my imposter syndrome, because it implies that I'm wedded to it. I've bought it, I've paid for it, I've got the receipt and I'm keeping it. That's not the case. So that thing of when you're in the holidays, when you stop in the holidays, you suddenly start thinking, oh gosh, I'm tired, I'm going to rest, I'm going to engage. Then you start feeling a bit guilty because you're not doing work. But once you get over that, you get into this, I'm not doing this properly. I'm not having enough fun, or I'm not spending enough time with my kids. I just want to sleep. And you get this whole feeling of like, I'm not good enough. And that is, it just steals your energy away and steals the holiday. So I describe it as having like a vulture, because they're huge. Have you seen them? They're massive, sitting on my shoulder, like a vulnerability vulture, just digging the claws in. And every time someone says, oh, we've been baking all day, and then we went to the zoo, and then we did some painting, and I'm sitting there like, I've just shouted at mine and thrown a load of Haribos at them and told them to be quiet. And this vulture, I'm not a good enough parent, I'm a terrible parent. So I am just going to give my vulnerability vulture the day off. I've actually called her Shangela, after one of my favorite drag queens. So Shangela is going to have the day off. I'm just going to take her off my shoulder, unprise her claws, and just pop her down. And she can squawk all she likes. She is not coming for a ride, because I just want to take some time off from feeling that I'm not good enough, and just being rather than doing. So that's kind of my first thing. Does that sound like it's something you could do? Bucky, I'm looking at you, girl.
Yeah, well, as you were saying that, I remember the stone with B that you gave me. So yes, definitely. Yeah, I can definitely do that.
In fact, look, I've got them here as if we'd planned it. So that actually is my second one, to be more human being and less human doing. Because and I am the worst at this, and that's why I did those stones. When we met up for dinner, was it like 2 years ago? January. Yeah, and we were all doing word of the year, and my word for 2020 this year is intentional, which has served me well through this cultural earthquake that we've been engaging in. But I wrote B for everyone, because it's that idea of being rather than doing. I'm not into all the woo-woo, like well-being, have some cake, go to a spa, and everything's all right. I'm not into that. But I am into being comfortable enough with who I am and what I do, having what I say and do in alignment with what I think and feel, and having, get this, an FFS life, which unfortunately has the same acronym as, it's not what I mean. I mean fulfillment flavored success. So I've had a lot of success, but sometimes it's happened and I don't feel fulfilled. I don't feel like, I'm sort of dismissing it in some way. So fulfillment is what I'm going for rather than success. And in order to get there, you've got to be comfortable with being. And I am the first one, like, my being is this, right? I'm going to do some yoga. Well, that's doing, isn't it? Or I'm going to do some breathing. Well, also doing. I'm going to do some meditating, which is never happens. But it's all, I'm going to do something. And actually, it sounds crazy, but I'm sitting, I'm lighting a candle because I have to have something to look at. I'm playing waves because it's not music or classical music, no words. And I just try and sit there for a minute. It's so flipping hard. It's so hard, but I am determined to crack being, because I know I will be stronger and better for it. So have a go at being is my second tip, which is like, does that sound too woo-woo? Because I don't like woo-woo. I don't like the kind of untangible stuff that feels like, oh, I can't do it because I'm not kind of like in touch with myself enough.
It sounds easy. It sounds easy, but the problem, the thing is, because that's one of the things, one of my own tips is just to be. So in a way, like with mindfulness, my issue is that my brain is always on the go. So just minimizing the brain chatter will be a challenge for me. So it sounds easy and almost like, but as you say, when you try and do it for even 30 seconds, it's really challenging to have all these thoughts coming in.
I think it's simple, but it's not easy. I went to an event where one of the talks, right, the workshop was, why do we have to sit still? And me and my kind of positive disruptor headset, I was like, yeah, we don't have to sit still. Anyway, I'm going to that. So I went to the workshop, and actually it was a workshop on meditation. So the answer to do we have to sit still was yes. But it was amazing. We sat for a minute and she just talked and we just sat. And we opened our eyes at the time. I swear it had been 10 minutes and it was 1 minute. And I'm like, what voodoo is this? And it was just kind of sitting and being. And then I've done a bit of research in how, if you sit kind of quietly and just turn your brain off a bit, that can be worth a lot of sleep. So I'm like, great, I never have to go to bed again if I do that. So again, I'm, hacking it into a productivity thing. But yeah, I just think it's really interesting that I'm a phenomenal human female. So how do I level up? What do I do to tap into the fullness of what I know I can bring? And I think this is an area that I struggle with a lot, and an area that if I could crack, then would be more. I'd be able to do more. So that's my second tip. B. It's harder than it sounds. I've got another one. I mean, I can keep going, but how far are we over time now? Because
we're a little bit over time. I do want to do a bit of a shout out, Jazz, if it's okay, to our audience who've been sending some messages through. So I think Karine Latham from Northern Ireland is hinting, "Hey Mark," and she's saying they were all lovely, positive people. Mandy's come back as well and said, "Jazz, it's now 7:35. How are you still this beat? Really?"
Yeah, you know what? Usually when it gets to 4 o'clock, I'm like, how many hours till I can take my bra off? But tonight, I was coming to hang out with you and Jules and Bucky and Graham. I have been so excited. Like my kid said to me, "What are you?" I was putting the duck up like I was, samurai swording someone. So what's going on? I'm like, it's so exciting tonight. It's going to be edgy Twitter stories. I can't wait to be there. So I'm extra in the sense I recharge by being with people. So this for me is like crack cocaine in a safe environment. And also Mandy, hello, because we've been on together as well. So hello,
Hi, Mandy. Oh,
Jazz,
dear, sorry.
Jazz, you're not going to take it off live on air, are you?
Graham, do you remember last time when I said vagina by accident? I'm not going to do that this time. That was intentional. That wasn't accident. You can't. I meant to say that. So poor Graham had to try and get me back in a box last time. I was like, I'm terrible on live. I am not a good person. I took my filters off. So.
Mandy clearly knows you as well, because she's saying, "Trust me, she may do that." So clearly your reputation precedes you, Jazz, with all of this.
Got a bit of a rep.
Lovely comments coming through from the audience. Just quickly, Jazz, give us your third tip for people.
My third one is, it doesn't matter if you're a thinker or a feeler. Get out of your own head, get out of your own way, and spend some time with people you like. In fact, if you are like a parent, pick one child, like the one who is annoying you the least, and be so like, "Can we do this together? Do you want to play a game? Can we do this?" Make them think it's weird. That's what you should go for. Go for loving on someone so much that they think you're weird. If you haven't got a kid, don't pick someone else's kid. That is weird. Pick a person. Pick someone who's annoyed you before. That's really good. That's what I do. I channel my energy into someone who's annoyed me and just love them into the point where they're like, "All right, what's wrong?" Because if you can get out of your own head by focusing on someone else, then it makes a difference. Every time before I go on stage, I always feel like I'm going to throw up. I feel nervous. And that's because I'm thinking about me. I'm like, "Oh God, what if they laugh? What if they don't laugh? What if my slides don't work? What if I fall off the stage?" Which I have done. And all these things are about me looking stupid. And the moment I go, "Shut up, stop being selfish." What about people who've turned up, paid money, given up time with their family and their job, turn their emails off to sit in the chair because you might say something that might make them level up? What about them? And as soon as I start thinking about them, I don't feel nervous. So get out of your own head, get out of your own way, go and annoy someone with love. That's my third tip. Mic drop.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much indeed for that, Jazz. I've managed to somehow bring myself just fully on screen, just me here. I'm not quite sure how I've managed to do that, but so let's see if I can bring everyone. There we go. Everyone's back now. Fantastic. And then Jazz has dropped herself out though. What have I got Jazz out?
Oh, I'm still here. You kicked me out, so you put your face on the screen.
Complete mistake. Too many buttons here trying to control it all at the same time. Thank you so much for those things, Jazz. We had some lovely comments. Karine's calling you a tonic. Ollie Lewis has joined us and sent us
hi, Ollie.
as well. Hi, Ollie. Get out your own head and channel your energy into someone else. Yes, Jazz. So many lovely comments from people. I'm really keen to bring in our next guest, and we've got some new features on the tool we use, and I think we should, in theory, still be able to bring everyone in together. And yes, we can. There we go. Nina.
Hi, Nina.
Welcome, Nina. How are you?
Hi, Nina.
I'm very, very good, thank you. I've put on my very, very special superhero outfit this evening, okay? This is not my real lockdown hair, honestly. This is just pure starlight glitter. End of. But tonight, this is me, okay? I'm not going to be anybody else. So, I mean, what am I going to do? I'm following Jazz and Puffar, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? And talk about imposter syndrome. You start to think to yourself, you know, how am I going to reach the next heights? How am I going to be as good as? And, you know, I think this is the problem that currently is in education and what we do as teachers. We always want to try and be like somebody else or the teacher next door. So I'm going to take the 50 things, and what I'd like to do, apart from the fact that I thought I was going to be doing 50 things that I could do with the Knickerbocker Glory in this session, however, I want to work it around, okay, that first of all, the 50 things that people can do that take the number 50. Now, first of all, I've got a problem because I think I've lost a dot. Because I'm 55, but I think in my head I am 5.5. So currently what I'm doing is seeking out where's my dot gone, because I don't know what's happening. I'm growing physically and mentally older, but actually I've got this sort of child brain in my head. So every day what I'm trying to do, and I hope that you'll join me as well, will you take 50 minutes every day that's just for you? Make an appointment with yourself, okay? 50 minutes. Don't put on a do not disturb sign on the door. Put on a sign which says, do not even think about coming in. I am disturbed enough already at your peril. So 50 minutes for yourself, make an appointment, okay? 50 things to save your smile. Okay, whether it's you're capturing magic moments, you want to make a visual board, 50 great things that are going to make you laugh. Whether you take some really serious comment off Twitter for the fact that, you know, somebody's just been awarded £6.3 million because they've got an amazing handshake with somebody else in government and, you know, they really don't know what they're doing. But anyway, we'll just move on from that. The way to consider is this, okay? So 50 minutes a day for yourself. Okay, make an appointment. 50 to save those smiles. What are your 50 dreams for the future? 50 new words that you could slot in your classroom when you go back. For example, did you know that we are all aquabibs? Did you know that? Yeah, well, we are. Because an aquabib is somebody who drinks water. Okay, and most of us are nathics as well. And I don't know about you, but sometimes if I'm counting to 50, I've got to do a little bit of dactylonomy. So you know me with the hashtag unusual words, Buddy, and Mark, you've been a part of that before, and it's like brilliant. Simple is the new complex, but for some children and young people in our classrooms, they love the complexity of language. They love unusual words, which hooks them into things. This is not a pedagogy practice session, but anyway, 50 weird and wonderful words that maybe you could slot in at some point. Now, this is where I come on to the really, really, really important stuff in life. I want you to consider what 50 amazing ice cream sandwiches could you create this summer. Now, you may think she's completely lost the plot. No, I haven't. Because when I was in Thailand many, many years ago now, in the roaring heat, no drinks around in Chiang Mai, and there was this really amazing little man. He was about shorter than me, and I'm only 5 foot and on a little bike, and he stopped and he sort of brought out this bread roll, and I thought, bread roll? Cut it in half, and he said, Madame, and put a blob of ice cream in it. Oh, I died and I went to heaven. And that was my experience of the very first ice cream sandwich. Now, can you imagine? Peanut butter, blob of ice cream, banana, sauce. I mean, I'm not talking about putting on the weight, but it's all trial and error, isn't it? So 50 things that you could do with an ice cream sandwich, but it's got to be in a bap. Do you know what I mean? How well you know what I mean by a bap, a floury bap, okay? But try a sandwich. I mean, the problem being it'll drip everywhere, and that'll be fun in itself. So then I want you to go on to thinking about fish fingers. I mean, that's a story in itself, isn't it? How many are there in a box? There's 10, isn't it? So 10, if you get 5 boxes of fish fingers, okay, 50 things that you could do with fish fingers. fish finger pizza, fish finger sandwich, fish finger knickerbocker glory. Imagine having the mashed potato on the bottom and the mushy peas on top, and then your fish fingers and dipping it in. I know I'm giving you loads of recipes, but teachers, step out from the stuff that's making your head go, okay, and think something different. Posh words, 50 things to do with fish fingers. I mean, never mind don't worry about 50 books. Just go 50 magazines, you know. I'm all right with sort of cutting things up, but I've been working really hard on mastering my slinky.
Oh, right. Okay.
And, I mean, I love a slinky. Okay. For example, 50 things that you could do with a slinky, 50 things you could do with a slinky in the classroom. And when I work with a slinky, I find it really, really calming. And plus as well, it does shut me up a little bit. So I'm going to challenge all of you that are tuning in tonight, okay? 50 things that you will have done over the summer that maybe you could create an amazing visual board and then maybe share it with Mark and Bookie and the rest of us in September so that you can catalogue all the amazing things that you're doing. So it's back over to you. I've got 50 things, but you know what? Teachers, lovely people, 50 pairs of slippers, 50 pairs of pajamas, lots of 50-minute sleeps in, and lots of 50-minute meetings with yourself. I mean, what you do in the meeting with yourself is entirely your business, okay? But 50 minutes on your own.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. Awesome. We've got some lovely comments. We've got Mandy talking about her gelato in Milan. We've got Karine saying how much she's enjoying the idea of an ice cream sandwich. Mandy's actually said she wants to come for dinner at your house, Nina. Karine also mentions how much she loves the slinky as well. But the big questions come from Isla, actually. And she's managed to do it for the magic of typing. Slinky, how do you untangle a slinky that's got tangled up, Nina?
Oh, well, what you do, quite seriously, is when it's all got tangled up, you literally just, I mean, I can tangle this for you, but you put your fingers in somewhere and eventually, if you swing it round, okay, like a whole circle, eventually it will untangle itself. Fact. Okay? This is the cheap and cheerful one, right? The best ones are obviously those steel ones.
Yeah, I mean, love those, but I might not tell the kids your technique just yet.
Yeah.
That'll be 51 things to do with a slinky then, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you so much, Nina.
Brilliant for bingo wings, actually, as well. Right? I mean, it should be slim. And what you're not seeing me, really, you should be seeing Lara Croft. But, you know, 50 things.
I see Lara Croft.
Do you, Jules?
Yeah, I do.
You're one of those really special people. I've known that for a very long time. Very long time. Yeah. You're in my gang. Thank you.
So super keen to get our next guest on. We are approaching our full-time time, so we are definitely going to go over by a few minutes today, so please do bear with us. But our next guest is a gentleman who's been on the show before. He is a very positive person, shall we say, and he may well also get us singing. But Nina commented actually the last time we had this gentleman on with us about his amazing smile, and let's see if it happens again when he comes into the studio with us today. Because when he joined us last time, as soon as he came in, the very first thing that all of us guests did, we all just had this massive beaming smile on our face straight away. So let's see what happens when we bring in the one and only Action Jackson onto the show this evening.
Yeah, there you go.
I tried so hard not to smile. It's impossible.
Slinky smiles.
How's everybody doing this evening?
Very well, thank you. How are you?
Brilliant.
Wow, I am fantastic. I feel amazing. Honestly, I've been doing these 8K runs every other day, and I've been measuring my time, and I've been improving. And it's just weird what it's doing to me. I like to push myself. So that's been making me feel good. And I've turned my garage into a studio / meditation room / office. So that's really, I'm loving life at the moment. And baby Olivia's keeping us on our toes as well.
Okay. How old is she now?
I bet.
She is now, I think she was, I think 2 months now, 2 months and 2 weeks.
No. Time's flying. We've got some comments already. Kelly Hanahan saying how she's smiling, and Kareen's reinforcing my comment about you being a great singer. So there you go. It's not just me who's saying that. Action. So with the idea, the premise tonight being sort of 50 things for, and we've had some fantastic ideas and some real creativity in how those ideas have been shared and the approaches and things over the course of the session this evening. Did you have something you wanted to share with us this evening?
Well, you know what, they call me Action Jackson for a reason. And if there's one thing I've been doing in this lockdown is to be self-reflective. I said, you know, what are the things I know and what are the things I've been doing? And if there's one thing I know is knowing is not enough, we must do. And all these ideas are great, but if you don't do them, you will never experience. We always say to the kids, you know, go and explore. So for me, what I'm going to actually give to you all is just one advice, and it's going to come, and you need to do it. You can't just, oh yeah, it's a good idea, but it's one of the coolest things that makes you feel good, okay? If you're ready for it. I'm not going to tell you, I'm just going to show you. Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Ooh. Imagine there's no country. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for. Everybody wave. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life today. You may say I'm a dreamer, oh yes, but I'm not the only one. Hey, I hope someday you will join us, and the world will be as one.
Really good. Wow.
My one thing is for you to just sing. Thank you so much. You just got to sing.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much for that. That's so good. And it's funny, you know, Nina was talking before, how do I follow Jazz Amp How Farm? And then you come on and do that. And poor old Howell, he's still sat. Bless him. I'll bring him in now. Howell, what are you going to do, mate? What are you going to do?
Oh, mate, it's just gone wrong tonight for me. This is terrible. This is the worst night I've ever had.
Wow, take off your bra. That's all you do.
I took it off early doors. I took it off as soon as Jazz gave us permission. It was straight off. Action Jackson, man. That was just mint.
Oh, thank you, Ray.
I've spent the whole day because it's actually 21 years since the Blair Witch Project came out. So I've spent all day in my cellar just staring at the wall in the corner. That's what I've been doing. I've not had a nice day. I'm going to be quick because I know we've got to finish, haven't we?
Oh dear.
I've sat through the whole thing. I'm absolutely pressured up now with trying to relax. So I've just come up with some stuff because I was listening to everyone. I was singing, well, I can't say that now. I can't say that now. I've just had to put my song away. It was... I'm trying to think of a funny song to say. I was going to sing something good like Daydream Believer. I was going to sing that. that's done
Always
now.
look on the bright side of life.
Yeah, I could have done that. I can't whistle, Nina. So this is my thing, and I'll just do it quick. I've actually had a nice day just in the last, just the last 12 hours, really. I just finished a load of stuff off that's been like hanging over me for ages. And something I finished writing about today was just about engagement and how actually engagement, when I think about engagement in schools and kids I teach and stuff, engagement, I think sometimes could just be manners. It could be just people being mannered. And I was thinking that actually what we need kids to do is invest. And then I was obviously thinking about this, and I was thinking, well, people need to invest in themselves over the summer. And I think that's been a theme from this evening. And I think there's something about reconnection. I just between finishing my work, having my tea, my wife's a counsellor, so she's working still downstairs, and I'm in my attic here. I've been here since March. I've been here. They've been giving me food parcels. I've just had a bit of time, so I've just been reading. I just got some books off the shelf over there that I bought like years ago, and I'm just having a look through them, and they're quite good. So I'm looking forward to having a look at them. And I think what I'm going to do is reconnect with some books, which I know Isla was talking about before. I've reconnected with my family during lockdown because I travel around so much normally. Lockdown has actually been really great for my mental health because I've been with my family for a change. It's been great. So I think in terms of advice for people watching this, I think it's time to reconnect with your mates. It's time to reconnect with your family if you like them. It's time to reconnect with your sen. That's yourself. And I'm going to try and do that. So one bit of work I had during lockdown, I think it's lockdown forced schools to think a little bit out of the box and a bit differently. They absolutely applied their professional imagination, some of them. It's been mint, all that. And they got in touch. Some got in touch with me and said, will you just make some little films that will get the kids writing? So that's what I did. It absolutely was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. Making little films on my phones, telling little ghost stories, telling stories about the castle. It's not a castle, it's a folly on a hill near our house and all that. They're all on my phone, and I've sent them to the schools, and they've been sending them out to the kids, and they've been getting some nice writing back. I've absolutely loved it because it didn't feel like work. It was like I was just getting back in touch with myself and with what I love doing, which is making stuff. And I think that's what all teachers like doing. It's sometimes we get stuck like that and we forget, don't we? And I think that's what I've heard from everyone in the last hour. So I think it's time to engage our brains, our hearts, our courage, and think about our homes. And those are the 4 characters from The Wizard of Oz right there. Brains, heart, courage, and thinking about home. Let's engage that. Ursula Le Guin was quoted before, and I chuffing love her. Here's a good quote from her. My imagination makes me human and makes me a fool. Let's be foolish all summer. Cheers.
Brilliant stuff. Thank you so much, Howell. Thank you.
It's brilliant.
And look at that. We're only just over the 8 o'clock threshold there. Thank you so much, Howell. Thank you, Action. Thank you, Jules, Isla, Nina, Graham, Ed, Jazz, everybody. I think this comment here we've got from Kelly sort of sums it up for me really this evening. I don't know about you, Bookie, but I've actually been loving all the contributions this evening to the show. And that's been a hallmark of all the episodes, hasn't it? The quality of the guests and the people who are coming on and sharing and you know, like Ed said right at the beginning of the show this evening, actually taking the time to just have a go. Don't worry too much about the actual, whether it's going to be that good. Like you said, Jackson, about having, doing, and actually being in there and representing. Me and Bookie last week, we could have quite easily not done a show last week. Me and Bookie had a right week of it, and we put it on. And in actual fact, it was one of the best shows. We felt we really shared good stuff and all the rest of it. So it's been fantastic. Thank you to all of our audience who's joined in this evening. Thanks to Kelly. Amy says she's now Nina going to go and buy herself a Slinky. She's off on eBay getting one really now. And thank you for reminding us to keep our inner child alive. Thank you for that. Thank you to Mandy and everybody else who has taken the time to comment and view and get engaged in the show. Biggest thanks from me goes to Bookie, my co-host,
Oh, thank you, Mark.
we couldn't do this if it wasn't for the time and effort you put into working on this with me. So thank you very, very much indeed.
Oh, bless you. Thank you. And likewise back to you as well, particularly for this week. Thank you, Mark.
Nina's got her hand up. Did you want to say something, Nina?
Yes, I did actually. I'll retire to my actual self now and say, you said thank you to all of us, but I have to say that for the whole, every single episode that you and Bookie have pulled together, I mean, the impact you have had on so many people. So from the South Wales Valleys on and in a mountain, can I say 550 million zillion thank yous to you two, because you bring joy to us. You're a pain in the nearly said it at the bottom occasionally, but I would like to raise a very big yes, please.
Oh, thank you.
For more of these in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nina.
Brilliant, Nina.
Really
Thank you. Speaking of which, actually, Bookie, we're due to come back. This is the end of season 1. We're very much looking forward to season 2.
It's looking like a Netflix.
Well, that's why we've done the whole YouTube thing, so you can go back and watch it like it's a box set.
Yeah. So season 2 starts on Thursday, the 13th of August. So we've got 3 weeks off. We'll be back, partway through.
We need a fancy dress one.
You know what? We're up for anything.
Yes.
Mark,
I'm up with that.
Yeah.
Superhero thing.
I try and come as a unicorn.
Superhero thing. Look at the
superhero thing.
So we started off with the sequins, didn't we? The sequins have kind of disappeared over time, haven't they?
Graham's already ready.
Let's just give Graham a bit of the spotlight there so we can really get the full enjoyment out of that lovely hat he's wearing there. Fantastic.
We need some accessories like Graham.
Is that Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Men? Is it, Graham?
No, it's for a cancer hospital on the island, actually.
Oh, okay.
Fabulous.
I buy them at the festival every year, and money goes towards them.
When the sun doesn't shine, what sunflowers do is they turn into each other.
Oh.
So they can look after each other. So when they're not out like that and the sun doesn't shine, they literally turn into each other like that. They're not just lush.
Wow.
Well, I'm growing some sunflowers, so I'll see that if it happens.
Yeah, but you're not growing them very well, are you, Bucky?
Oh, thanks, Graham.
Hey, winners! I'm just saying I've got to go now, and I'm really sorry to leave, but
that's all right.
Yeah,
thank you so much for having me on.
Take care.
A real pleasure.
See you
Thank you very much, Hal.
See you soon, winners.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we will bid you all adieu as well. We've done our thanks. We are very, very grateful for all of the support we have on the show. And we look forward to sharing more with you during the summer holidays and then right through next academic year as well. Please do stay tuned. Please do hit the subscribe button, whether it's that side or that side, because I never get it quite right. But whichever side it is, please do subscribe. And very much looking forward to that starting on August the 13th, I believe, is our date.
That's correct. That is correct.
Thank you very much. So thank you again, and we'll see you next academic year.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Be safe. Look after each other. Cheers. Bye.